everyone, it's Meg, and today I am going to be talking about some book series that I am never going to read. I never thought I would be making a video like this, a video about books I wouldn't read, or kind of book, not negativity, but you know, that sort of thing. But for some reason I just had a fancy for it, and I feel like I'm going to get a lot of people shouting at me in the comments for some of these series that I don't want to read, because a lot of them are very popular and very well loved, and obviously I just love to go against the grain and just not read them at all. But obviously that's what is so amazing about the book community and the BookTube community, how different all of our reading tastes are. And just because a series is popular does not mean that everybody else loves it, or everybody else would even like to read it. And obviously it's great to have different discussions when people have polarising or different opinions when it comes to different books and different book series. And sometimes it's just not in a genre that you personally want to read. And obviously everybody has their own opinions, everybody has their own views on their favourite books, their favourite series, whatever that. And if I do mention your favourite series on this list, please do not be offended. It's just that there are other books, there are other series that I would prefer to read rather than these ones, and it's amazing that you guys love them, these series so much. It is amazing how much you love them and how much they mean to you. I'm not dissing that at all. This is just my personal opinion, and they're just books series that have personally never taken my fancy. So please do not be offended if I do mention your favourite series or your favourite book. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The first series that I'm going to talk about, if I get comments, this is probably the one that I'm going to get comments most about, because it is probably the most popular book series or just story, like on BookTube, in stories, in films. It is just loved by so many people, and I personally, it's just not my gig and I don't have any interest. So this is the one that's probably going to be most shocking to people, and I'm really sorry. I know a lot of people love this series, and yeah, I'm going to stop complaining now. And that is the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. Yes, I am one of those few people on BookTube who has not read Harry Potter. When I was around 8 years old, my dad did give me the first book, and if you are wondering why I have this, it's because my family love Harry Potter, especially my sister, so we do have the full collection of the books, and they love it a lot, but it's just not really been my thing. Like I said, my Dad did give me this book to read when I was around 8 years old or something, but I remember it looked quite intimidating. I don't know why, I found the cover rather intimidating, rather grown up, and I read maybe like a page or two and then I just put it down and never picked it back up again. And I have seen some of the Harry Potter films, and I'm just not super wild about them, if I'm honest. Like, I've watched a few films. I have actually been to the Warner Brothers studios, like the Harry Potter world in London, because we went there for my sister's birthday or as some sort of present or something, and that was really cool. It was a while ago. I did really enjoy it, and I do find it really fascinating and amazing, like especially like in the film and how they make it and stuff. But it's just never really been a story that I've been into. But yeah, like I said, it's just never been a series that I have had a deep desire to read. And I love that everybody else loves this series so much and how much it means to them. I know firsthand from how much it means to my sister and how much she loves it, and some of my other friends, but it's just never been for me, to be honest with you, so please do not hate me. I totally have respect for everybody and appreciate how much detail and goes into this story and all that sort of thing, but I just never had a desire to pick it up. So yeah, please do not put any hate comments in the bottom. I feel like this is the one that people are going to be so surprised about, but I am allowed to be a booktuber and not read Harry Potter. The next series that I have to share with you that I have no desire, I'm never going to read, is also another popular series along with the other book I'm going to talk to, and these are both older series but both very popular, and that is the Divergent series by Veronica Roth. And if you are also wondering why I have a couple of books physical. It's because they're my sister's books, because obviously we apparently have very opposite reading tastes. And I know this, along with the next book that I'm going to talk about, is very popular, especially back in the day, and this is dystopian, I believe. And just anything to do with dystopian just absolutely scares the living daylights out of me. It's that thing where it could technically happen, and it scares me to death. And I have no desire to watch the film for this either. And like I said, dystopian just personally isn't my genre. It is not what I want to read. And the same with this next trilogy, which is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Again, this is my sister's copy, and it's dystopian just scares me. Like, it's that idea that, like I said before, it could happen and in the future, and it scares me so much. It's really hard to explain, but that's how I feel. So I will never read a dystopian book, even though there is quite a few dystopian and all fantasy books on this thing, because that's apparently what your girl doesn't like to read. It's just not my gig, not my thing. I love that everybody else loves it and how much everyone loves both of these series, but it's just not my thing because it just scares me. I know that sounds kind of weird, but yeah, dystopian scares me. That sounds so pathetic, but hopefully some people who kind of have similar opinion, if you have a similar opinion than me, then please let me know, so then I know I'm not alone, because I'm really struggling to describe why I don't like these books, aren't I? I just don't, okay? It's just never a series I've decided to read, and I am never going to read a dystopian book for the reasons that I have previously stated. Another extremely, extremely popular series that I have no desire to read is The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. This has intrigued me to a certain extent, not in terms of reading, but a factor of how intricate this series is. I think there's is it one long series, or I know there's series broken up that kind of lead in from the same characters, if that makes any sense. But it's always intrigued me how long the series has gone on for, and how I understand that it is quite intricate, with all the characters and the world building, which I find quite amazing. Which is like with the Harry Potter books, to be honest with you, how intricate the world building and the world is in general. But again, it's just something that I've not had much of a desire to read, and if I did ever want to read it, it would take me an awful long time to catch up with everybody else because there are so many books. But again, I've just never had a want or a need to read it, to be honest with you, and I'm okay with that. Again, with any of these other books, especially like Harry Potter, I know that this series means so much to a lot of people, and I respect that no end. Obviously, everybody has their own book series or book in general that they love, that means the world to them, and I feel like that is especially prominent with the Mortal Instruments series. But it's just, again, it's a series that I have never really desired to read, and I'm okay with that, to be honest with you. There are many other books that I would prefer to read, and maybe one of these series will surprise me one day if I ever read them, but I probably won't, because there are other books that I'd rather prioritise. The next series that I do not wish to read, that I am never going to read, is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas, and this will probably be for the Court of Thorns and Roses. I hope I remembered that right. I do know the name of that series, I promise with you. That other series by Sarah J Maas, I don't really have much of a desire, want to read any of her series, to be honest. They are high fantasy and just fantasy in general isn't something that I'm into personally, and it's just one of those stories that's very, I don't really know much about the story, but it's about assassins and it's very dark, and those are two things that I'm definitely not into. And again, I don't need to talk about about how much it means to everybody else, because I know that all these series will mean a lot to a lot of people, but it's just, I've never had a desire to read it, and I'm okay with that. And I feel like I'm repeating myself every time, but I guess it's probably for similar reasons why I do not want to read these series. Next up I have a series that is a bit more recent, and that is the Ark of the Scythe series by Neil Shusterman. Sorry if I was looking down, I'm looking at my notes because I'm trying to remember the name of the series. This is a slightly more recent series. It's a duology at the moment. I think there's another book coming out, I may be wrong. But again, this is another dystopian book, and if the plot line is basically about these people, these kids, teenagers, people who become scythes and they kill people to keep the population down because the world has been cured of disease, and just that concept in general, just it disturbs me. I know that sounds really weird again, but anything to do, any sort of dystopian plot line or story, just it's I don't know, it's disturbing. I don't like it. So that is also why I would never read it, even though I've heard so many amazing things about this series. I know so many people love it and how amazing it is. It's, yeah, dystopian will never be my thing. I have no desire to read it, and I'm never going to read it. Because then I will be thinking about all the things that could possibly happen in the future, and that will just scare me to death. And the next one that I have is a slightly older series as well, and that is the Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. I'm not sure of the actual name for the series, but I hope it is actually a series. I think it is a series. And I did actually watch the film for the Golden Compass a very long time ago, and from what I can remember, there are children or adults, people, and then they have demons, which are like these animals, and then they get like separated, and the demons can talk. And with anything about animals that can talk, or animals that are kind of like humans, if there's anything like that where they get harmed, I do not like that at all. It's just something that, it doesn't scare me, but it just kind of really upsets me. So I've never had any desire to read the book or just the series in general, especially after watching the film, because I wasn't a massive fan of it. So again, that is why, and other similar reasons, like all the other series that I have talked about in here. And we are on to the last one now. I could definitely go on a lot longer with all the series, but I would be just saying the same reasons over and over again, probably the same with this one as well, and that is the Darkest Minds series by Alexandra Bracken, which again is very popular, very well loved, and I just have no want to read it. I think this is dystopian again, and obviously, like I stated before, there are many reasons why I do not want to read dystopian books, but it's, again, I've just had no want to read it. And yeah, that's all I have to say, to be honest with you. I feel like I'll be repeating myself over and over again. These books just aren't my thing, They're not my thing. And there are other books that I would rather read instead. So, there you go. So, those are some of the book series that I am never going to read. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It is not something that I am generally or ever thought I was going to film. But like I said, I just kind of had a fancy for filming it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And like I said many times throughout this video, please do not be offended if I mentioned your favourite series, your favourite book. I totally have respect for everybody who likes any of these books. And obviously there are people who will never have a desire to read any of my favourite books or my favourite series, and I'm okay with that, because like I said, we all have so many different opinions, and that is what makes BookTube so great and so wonderful, for how much of a variety of readers we have across so many different genres. And you can tell how much I like to not upset people, can't you, for how much apologising and reasoning I've done throughout this video. I really need to just get over the fact that not everyone is going to like me or to respect my opinions, so I need to get over that, and hopefully this video will be the first step to getting into it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video nonetheless, and if you would like me to do more videos like this, maybe about some books that I'm never going to read, or some popular books that I don't like, or unpopular bookish opinions, I don't know, maybe I'll get brave and film another video like this, then let me know in the comments down below and I will get around to filming them for you. I guess it will kind of get me into that state of, okay, everybody doesn't have to like me or doesn't have to like my opinions, or they are allowed to disagree with my opinions and all that sort of thing. Like, I feel like I'm not explaining myself very clearly, but I hope you get what I mean. If you like this video, then please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more bookish videos from me, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and little bell icon so you'll be noted every time I post a new video. As always, I will leave you links to my social media along with the links to my Goodreads and my blog in the description down below for you guys. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!